Oh yeah, it's the Paul Gilson YouTube channel, and I'm Paul Gilson. Yeah, and we're going to have a Friday night rant tonight because my blood is boiling right now. And we're going to have a smoke together after I get my rant out. And you guys, as soon as you hear it, are going to be like, run, Forrest, run. Well, let's start something on fire. Oh, I've got some Lane Bulk hazelnut that is 4 years old. Thank God I have a whole nother pound of it. And this Lorenzo pipe, it's a bigger bowl, because I just need to relax. So grab your favorite pipe and grab your favorite blend. Listen to my rant. Listen to this idiocy that I've had to go through for the last 45 minutes. It's utterly stupid, and I made the right decision. And I'm going to tell you the story. So grab your favorite pipe. And you women that are watching, you know what I'm talking about. You'll know what I'm talking about, and you'll agree with me. Yeah. Let's get this baby going. Oh yeah. So I take my beautiful daughter out. She's going to be 22 next month. Take her out to dinner. Not a super nice restaurant or anything, just a nice diner. And so we proceeded to have a wonderful dinner together. She's such a sweetheart. She's beautiful. She's just so sweet. And we just had a great time. And then I dropped her off. And then came home here, decided on what I want to do. Just kind of letting dinner relax a little bit. And the lady that I've been talking to, both on the phone and just texting and stuff, she lives out of state down in North Carolina. She actually grew up here. We went to the same high school together, but she's about 6 years younger than me. When she texts me, hey, how you doing? And we've kind of made a friendship and stuff like that. And she says she's a good Christian woman, goes to Bible study, church, all that stuff. That don't make you a Christian, all right? She says, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Just got home, took my daughter out to a nice dinner. Well, at least it wasn't like, I hope she didn't hit you in the face. And I said, well, why would she do that? She's like, well, I took my daughter to Panera Bread, and then she hit me in the face after dinner. She has a 13-year-old daughter. This girl's out of control. Way out of control. So I said, well, why would she do that? And well, she started arguing with me. She can be nice and calm 1 minute and then just totally change. And then sometimes she cuts herself. And I was like, look, if I was you, I mean, I'd never hit my daughter back, but this is a woman-on-woman thing, her and her daughter. If I was you, I would have bitch slapped her right back so hard, she'd think twice about hitting you again. And I've had to listen to this shit about the daughter throws stuff at the mom and just all this bullshit. So I tell her, I says, look, I says, she's like, well, I can't hit my daughter because then I'll get arrested for child abuse and this and that. And they said, you can discipline your daughter, especially in them southern states. They don't put up with that shit. All right. She's like, no, I don't need to go to jail. I need my job and this and that. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, that's one option. So I said to her, I says, well, you could call the police and report it. If you don't hit her back, you're the victim, and you can report it as an assault. And she responds and says, are you saying I'm playing the victim? I said, no, what I'm saying is that you are the victim in an assault. You have every right to call the police up, to call the authorities. She's cutting herself. You have every right to call up and have her arrested and put in a detainment center for observation and counseling to make sure that she's not going to be a harm to herself or anyone else. No, it's different in this state. You can't do that, she says. So I looked up the law in the state of North Carolina, and I sent it to her, and it says, basically, it said, yes, an officer in the state of North Carolina has the right to detain and arrest a juvenile if they are deemed to be a threat to themselves or others, or if there is suspected mental illness or drug abuse. And then it went on and on. And I sent that to her. Her state law. Then she still wants to argue with me about it. So that's what you call an asshole. Yeah, an asshole. My blood pressure's starting to come down right now. So, an asshole is someone that will present you with a problem, and then when you give them, and anybody, I would consider myself a person of integrity, a person of good moral character, and I'm intelligent, okay? So, and any man that would give a woman evidence or suggestions to solve the problem, then they want to argue with me about it. Then you send them proof to show that there's nothing to argue about. Here's the proof. And then they still want to argue with you about it. I'm not playing that game, man. There's no way. I said, look, you are the victim. All right. I said, I thought about it. I says, you know what? I said, good luck to you and your daughter. I am not getting in the middle of this situation with you. If you decide you're going to come visit back home here, lose my number. I don't want a relationship with you, a friendship with you. I says, I went through this for 25 years with my last wife. Always would ask my opinion. Then when I'd give her my opinion, she'd want to argue with me about it. Then when I would show her facts, backing up my opinion, she would still want to argue about it. And I'm not getting involved in that drama mess, all right? Because I know what happens, all right? Let's say, I ignored this situation and things went on and she either decided to move up here or me down there. The daughter's going to be with her. And guess what happens when all hell breaks loose between her and her daughter and I go to put my foot down? All of a sudden, they're both going to be pissed off at me and mad, and I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm going to be the guy they're going to call the cops on, collaborate bullshit stories They're going to take my pistol permit away, my firearms, and arrest me. No way. Run, Forrest, run. And a lot of these women, all right, let's say they got a good man. There's a lot of good men out there. There's a lot of bad men too. You know, some guys that are into drugs, or they'll have alcohol and mistreat their families and stuff like that. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about good men. You could come home, all right? A man could come home and find his wife in bed with another man. And guess what? They go through a divorce. Can't call the cops. There's nothing you can do. You know, if the guy won't leave, yeah, you can call the police. He's already been boning your wife. She decides to leave you for him. You lose half your shit, half your fucking pension. Guess what? Who's your marshal? A guy like you. I've seen this happen a million times, man, and you have too. Police officers, guys that have pensions, shit like that. Their wife gets a hair up their ass, decides she don't want to be with them no more. Boom, they run off with somebody. They get half their fucking retirement. It's fucking cast in stone, you know? So we get fucked. I am not putting myself into another position like that. No way, no way. I can see that's a huge red flag, and I'm running. She hasn't texted me back. I wished her good luck. Blue's my number. I don't want to know nothing. You know, you want to freaking argue with me about it after I've shown you proof. And as I'm telling her what she could do, all these different possibilities, what she could do with the situation with her daughter, because there are many state programs. The police back up good parents. The woman's not a drunk. She doesn't drink, doesn't smoke cigarettes, doesn't do any drugs. She's a good mom. She has a good job. All right, that cop's going to yank that freaking kid right out of that house. So as this conversation's unfolding, and I'm trying to be the voice of reason, giving her a couple different solutions that makes sense, and then her arguing with me about it, and then me showing her what the actual law is, and then she still wants to argue about it. I don't need that bullshit drama in my life. I have a hand, all right? I don't need a woman. You guys know what I'm talking about, all right? And that's why there's so many good guys that refuse to get married, because the truth of it is, the state has taken the man and they've chopped his nuts off. No longer is the man able to be the leader of the home if he has a bad wife. That wife can go on welfare, take him for child support, take his pension, all of that stuff. The laws are all set up, stacked in their favor. All right? So she doesn't necessarily look on him as something that she absolutely needs to feel financially comfortable, emotionally comfortable. You know, there's all kinds of people down at child support. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, you poor thing. Yeah, there's lots of them people down there that'll freaking... So the man has been really removed from the family if he doesn't have a good woman. All them programs, all that stuff. I'm going to pause this video. Yeah. Okay, I've graduated to a cigarette. A good man of moral character, all right? and is intelligent and has integrity, who offers through the voice of reason. Those men like myself, I consider myself a man of integrity, a man of good moral character, okay? And when I'm presented with a problem like I was earlier tonight, my mind is thinking about solutions to try to help that person out. And then to be argued with about it after you share the voice of reason raises my blood pressure through the roof, because I went through that for so many decades with my kid's mom. And so I don't need that, man. I'm 60 years old. Like I said, I don't need that girl. I've never met her in person. And I after, this is like the second or third time this has happened. It's not just an isolated situation. I had one other girl I dated that was like that. Oh my God. She'd call me, I've got a problem. What should I do? And then you'd tell her, okay, here's what you should do. And then they do the exact opposite. And then they argue with you about what you tell them that they should do, which totally makes sense, both lawful and common sense, and they argue with you about it. So you have to argue about the law, which is in writing, and you have to argue about common sense with somebody. I don't need that. Don't need that at all. This one girl, she had her first DWI, never even had a parking ticket. This girl that I used to date said, all right, I'm telling you right now, go get an attorney, put yourself right into outpatient alcohol rehab. Because she blew like a .18, which my buddy Scott, who's your marshal, knows that's high. That's an aggravated DWI. That's real high, a .18. Him and I can get up there, all right? But you shouldn't be behind a wheel at .18. That's 3 times the legal limit. That's over double the legal limit. So I told her, all right, first thing that you should do, go get this attorney, which she did. I said, put yourself right into outpatient rehab. Go nights. They'll do 4 nights a week. Then after 3 months, 3 nights and 2 nights and then 1 night. It'll take you about 9 months. But it's going to show the court that you're making, an effort to not drink and to change your life so that this doesn't happen again. I said, the other thing you need to do is you need to register the car that you're driving in your mom's name. Otherwise, they're going to make you put an alcohol breathalyzer on it. No, I'm not going to do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, she didn't do any of the stuff that I told her to do. Told the court she wasn't going to do any of that stuff and got 30 days in jail. Then, didn't go to outpatient rehab or anything like that. Didn't stop drinking. Blew into her breathalyzer a couple, 2, 3 times and failed. That went to her probation officer, which went to the court, and then she got 90 days in jail. Come on. Didn't listen to the voice of reason. If she would have registered that car in her mom's name, she could have gone to court and says, I have no registered vehicles in my name. She wouldn't have had to have that breathalyzer on there at all. She could have lost her license for 6 months and got it back and be scot-free. First offense. Never even had a parking ticket. But no, because of her defiance and not listening to the voice of reason, which she would ask me, what should I do? And I would tell her she didn't listen to the voice of reason. She was defiant to the court. She stretched it out a whole 3 years. She went to jail 3 different times. Never been to jail in her life. Fucking stupid. Anyways, that's my Friday night rant. So if you find yourself in that situation, run, Forrest, run. Because I'll tell you, my last wife, she had three stepsons. She had 3 sons that became my stepsons when I married her, and I took them on as my own sons. And I wasn't a perfect man. I didn't live perfectly. I drank too much, okay? I did. And I didn't become abusive to my family until they would fucking torture me and torture me and torture me. Then I would explode. I didn't hit anybody or fucking that. I would just fucking get pissed off and go in the garage and fucking just stay there and just like everyone just stay in the house and leave me the fuck alone. You know? No one wanted to listen to the voice of reason. It was chaos. And the boys were always right. I stuck in there, man. I did my job. I raised those kids, you know, those 3 boys. But I'm telling you, if you're dating a girl and you're finding yourself all of a sudden in that situation, run. It's not worth it. Anyways, that's the Paul Gilson voice of reason speaking to you now. That pussy's not worth it. Over and out.